So welcome folks to this week's video. In this week's video I'm actually in the same place I was last week when I was shooting with my 6x17 or the 4x5 with the 6x17 back. Today I've come out with the Bessa R2. There is a reason for that, and that is because I've actually run out of 4x5 and all I have left now is I think I've got 3 rolls of black and white in medium format, which I could shoot down here, but to me it just seems like I'm missing an opportunity for shooting this beautiful colour, or what's left of it. We're sort of coming towards the end of the season really. A lot of the trees have sort of dropped, or a lot of the leaves have fallen off the trees I should say. So the trees are just becoming that little bit more bare now. So I'm just hoping to capture really the last of autumn, I suppose, on the Bessa, and I have got a roll of Portra 400 in here, which is my only roll of colour film I've got in the entire world. So yeah, I've got nothing else to shoot at the moment, so I just thought I'd come out with this. Now I have actually put an order in for some 4x5 black and white and some 4x5 colour, some hectare in fact, and I've got a trip planned this weekend because I've got a free pass for the day on Sunday, so I'm hoping to get down to Dartmoor and to do some 4x5 colour down there, just to catch the last of it. Yeah, so I just thought I'd come out this morning and see what we can get with this, with the Bessa and a roll of Portra 400. So yeah, as you can see, there's a lot less water here than there was last time, although this river is still quite high, but it's nowhere as bad as it was last time. And yeah, it's still a beautiful morning. I'm going to get on and see what we can get. So just waiting for the sun to come up now, but it should be an amazing morning. So it's just amazing to think that this time last week this whole area was underwater. I mean, it's still quite high now, you can see sort of just making its way through the scene behind me there, but yeah, it's just amazing to sort of think that last week it was just full of water. Anyway, this is my shot if I just bring you down. So I've put the 50mm lens on the front of the Bessa, and what I'm looking at, and hopefully you can sort of see that through there, is basically I'm looking at the just the water, that I like the way it snakes around in this tree here, and the sort of ferns and everything in the background being brown and all sort of nice. What I'm waiting for now, as you can probably see in the trees up here, is there is some light just beginning to sort of come into the forest. So what I really want is some light just coming down into the ferns there, because at the moment it's just all a bit flat and a little bit dead. So yeah, that's what we're waiting for at the moment. It's just a bit of light as usual. So yeah, this will be frame number 1, and yeah, it's going to be, well, it's going to take quite a while to get through 36 shots. Let's put it that way, because I'm not used to having so many shots in the bag. I'm used to having a lot less, and obviously having to be a lot more measured than I usually am. But anyway, never mind. I'm really looking forward to it because the forest is just looking so beautiful still. So yeah, really looking forward to it. Just wait for that light now. So actually moved location. What I've done is I've gone a little bit with gut feeling, because you can see behind me there the sun is sort of risen, but it just wasn't on the location where I was stood, which is really frustrating. As you can see, there's sort of rays of it coming through the forest as it is at the moment, and it does look really beautiful. But what I've picked out as a scene, what I don't want to do is fall in the river because it's quite deep, is when I came here last time, I really liked this bridge behind me, the road bridge. I just like the wooden structure of it, and then just the water and the reflections that really still up here. And sort of what I was hoping was that there'd be some light sort of coming down the woodland, because there's obviously behind me there's this clear sort of patch through the where the river sort of goes, enough to let some light through. So I was sort of hoping there was some light on the bridge, which unfortunately there isn't. There's light just next to the bridge, which is just all here, look, but it's not on the bridge unfortunately. But I think I'm going to stick and sort of wait this one out. So I'll just bring you down to the sort of camera eye view, which is just here. So what I'm liking is this tree just sort of framing it, and I'm just low enough sort of at this angle here to have the reflection and the bridge and everything, and I just like that little group of trees there, and then just this fern at the top, and just the way that it sort of, the embankment sort of just curves around there. So yeah, that's what I've gone for. Just need some light. Oh well, I'm going to stay here now and just wait for some light, so I'll bring you back when there's something to photograph. So I think I'm just going to get on and take this now, I think. So if I just see where we are. So I'm going to be at half a second. Half a second f8. Here we go. Beautiful. That's frame 1 done. I think what I'll do, because there is quite a nice reflection, so I think what I'll do is I'm just going to wait for a car to pass over the bridge. Now it is going to be blurred, unfortunately, but it should give me a nice reflection of the car. So I've got one with sort of just nothing, and another one with a car. So there is plenty of cars coming about now. So just going to wait for one of them. I'm just starting to get a little bit more light on the bridge now, which is nice. But I am sort of just looking behind me and seeing all these rays in the ferns over there, rays of light, and I'm just sort of thinking, oh, I should be over there shooting it, so I need to get this one out of the way. Right, there is a car coming. Silver, which is good. So let's just wait for the optimum moment. There we go. Got it. Hopefully that comes out. I'm just getting a touch more light on the bridge now though, so I might just hang around a little bit longer and see what I can get, but hopefully those images came out. Okay, so the next little scene is just this patch of ferns here with this light on it. I quite like this just isolated light in amongst the trees, and I like this standalone tree in the background which I put center frame. So I'm just going to get on and take this again, same settings, f8, and we're on still on half a second. So right, let's get this shot. Beautiful. What I'm finding difficult, obviously, with the rangefinder patch is trying to focus on this sort of thing, because trying to line the patch up to make sure that you're focused is actually quite difficult when you've got such a complex sort of scene there, like these ferns, where there's a lot of interaction between the ferns. So what you find is that trying to then line them up in the rangefinder patch is quite difficult. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that that's in focus. Oh, just such a beautiful morning again, but you can definitely see that we're at the end of sort of the autumn season, really, for sort of peak season. We're definitely past it now. Some of these ferns are looking quite dusty, they're going quite grey colour, but then there is quite a few of them that's still this lovely golden brown colour. But I reckon another week, possibly 2, then all this will be past its best, unfortunately. So such a short season, but anyway, still love it. Okay, so I'm going to take my tree shot where I first set up the tripod just behind me. There is some light now, which is just in the actual branch itself, and there's some light on the trees behind. So same settings again, f8 and half a second. So it seems to be the theme of the morning. Here we go. What I'm hoping is that half a second that I've got there is enough just to put a bit of motion, or just smooth out this water a little bit. And with these bubbles sort of making their way round like they are, that should have some nice interest going round. What I might do is just stop down F11 and do a second, just to give me that little bit more motion on the water. So here we go. If I wound the camera on. Right, here we go. A second, F11. Beautiful. Next scene on the list. Get this one in the bag. Again, I'm liking the light on the trees here, but what I am liking is between these two trees and this beautiful light that they've got on them is the actual tree in the background there, and just that little bit of light on that green tree. So I'll focus right down there. Obviously you'd have noticed that I've actually got the cable release on this today. Oh, there we go. It's taken a shot for me. But that is the issue with is that taken or not? I'm just going to take another one here because I'm not sure what happened there. That should have been okay. There we go. Yeah, the trouble is with these analog cable releases and sort of just the screw mechanism they're in here, you've got to be really careful when you're screwing that in there, and obviously not pressing the button up here, because you can end up taking quite a few shots that you don't mean to take just by accidentally pressing that button. So yeah, well, someone's done a little bit of a house thing here. I would shoot that if there was some light on it. I think that would be a nice scene. I like, again, a way they put some ferns on the top of the little structure thing there, and that obviously the ferns are this lovely golden colour. There's just no light on it, unfortunately. The tree looks nice around it as well. There is light in the distance, just past it, but it's not on this tree. Anyway, I'm going to walk down there, I think, because that looks really nice. Okay, so look at this business, people. Just love this little bit of light here on these ferns just the other side of this tree. Now the issue I've got is with this being a slightly cheaper Chinese lens, being that it's a TT Artisan lens. It's a wonderful lens and it is sharp, but what it doesn't deal with is sunlight sort of coming into it. You get a lot of flare, which is not great. Now the sun, as you can see, is just here, and it's just coming into the lens on a bit of a horrible angle. So I'm hoping that it's not going to be too flary, this shot, but we're going to take it anyway. So we are f8 and half a second again. I'm just favouring the shadows over than the rather than the highlights. So fingers crossed this comes out and it's not just a flare mess. So here we go. Let's get this shot taken. Here we go. That's it. Shot taken. Right, I'm going to get on, see what else I can find. Okay, so next shot. What I've got here is this quite a nice scene. I'm hiding behind this tree where the sun, just away from the sun, so it's not directly in the lens. But I'm liking the way that the rays are lighter just on these ferns here, and then also this tree, this fallen tree, and sort of green. So what I'm doing is I'm focusing actually on the tree itself. I'm going to go with f11 just so I can get a little bit more depth of field, but I'm not too worried about this sort of background fall off in depth of field there, and obviously focus. So yeah, I'm going to go with f11 here. I think we're at half a second for that, just to make sure I check everything. Oh, I'm on f8 at the moment. f8 was half a second, so f11 second. I'll just double check that, make sure. Okay, well the sun is just sort of shining through. It's quite bright now. I'm going to have to move around again just to get out of the way of the sun, because otherwise I'm going to have problems. So I'm just going to have to recompose this and then take this again. So it'll be f11 and 1 second. I'm just out in the open now, as you can see, and I've just come across something that's a little bit concerning with the camera. Now, as you can see, I've got these few horses here, which are just beautiful, and I thought, yeah, okay, I'm going to take these, get these horses now. And so when I metered using the meter here, now given the fact that I'm out in the open, I've noticed that basically the meter is telling me that this is still half a second at f8, which clearly out here in the open it's not. Now what I've done is, it doesn't matter where I point this, whether I'm in the light or the dark or where I am, it's always the same result, which is f8 is giving me half a second, which means that the meter in this is wrong. I've actually checked it on my iPhone as well, and the correct reading here should be f8 60th of a second. So I'm a little bit concerned that maybe the images I took earlier are going to be incorrectly exposed, which will be massively frustrating if that is the case. But I'm hoping that the shots of these horses have come out. Fingers crossed. Okay, so I've now got another beautiful scene in front of me. I was actually walking down the river in that direction. I just happened to look back and I saw this beautiful tree here just sort of hanging over the river, and I just sort of thought I'd come and have a wander down here just to see where the river went from here. So what I've got is, obviously I've got this curve going on around here. It's just a shame that obviously I've got this sort of mess here. There is a horse in the background, but he's not going to be in my shot. Just a shame I've got this little bit of a mess here, so I've tried to cut that out as much as possible. That's obviously just where the storm water's brought, you know, some of these branches and this tree sort of downstream, and it's just left it there. But I'm liking the fact that in the background there I've got these ferns with a bit of light on it. So I've taken the cable release off because I'm just having some issues with it. Seems I'm having some issues with the camera full stop today, and I'm hoping that's not going to be the end of the camera. But I'm just at 30th of the second f8, so here we go. Beautiful. Just wind it on. I'm going to take another one. Here we go. Beautiful. So I've got the spider arrangement going on with the tripod, as you can see here, nice and low. The reason why I've got that low is because I want to get quite low to this water, and this tree here you may recognise if you watched the previous video from here. I was actually stood on an embankment just behind me, just next to that fern tree there, and I took a picture of this area which was completely flooded. I mean, you can see just from the sort of ferns that are all flattened there where the water was. And basically this tree here was my centerpiece. So yeah, I've got a bit closer to it this time. I've got the water, and again I've just stood over there a minute ago to take the photo in this direction, or the image in that direction. So what I'm hoping is, again, because of all these bubbles, that they're going to create a nice sort of flow around with half a second timer again, f8. So nice and easy, focused on the tree. There's some nice light in the forest behind. I've tried to cut out as much of the sky as possible because it's only going to distract from the image, but there is unfortunately going to be a little bit in. But yeah, I'm going to get on and take this shot now. Here we go. But yeah, it's just water everywhere. It's just mud now. Right, here we go. There we go. And what I'm going to do, same thing again, is I'm going to go to f11 and a second. And I'm going to take this wind on. Get this next shot taken at a second. There we go. Should give some nice sort of flow to that water. So yeah, right, let's get on. Okay, so look at this business again. We've got this beautiful light now onto the same scene as I had earlier. It's just completely transformed it. So at the moment I'm just shooting f8 30th of a second, but just look at the way the light is just on this tree here and then onto this sort of main tree, and then obviously the river going round, and I like the way the light is just on that little sort of, not a waterfall, but just, you know, a bit of water there. It's just absolutely stunning. So I'm just going to take a few images here, hopefully these come out. But yeah, so stunning. So I think what I'm learning just from woodland photography really, and like I say, it's never been my strong point, woodland photography, but I do sort of, or have picked up certainly, I think the key to it is just finding little scenes, little intimate scenes like this for instance here. I really like these ferns that have got the light on it. It's obviously dark around where the light isn't hitting, but the light is hitting the ferns. I like the way that this sort of, that rich browny sort of coppery colour is just reflecting off the water there as it passes, and then even this sort of strip of light here, but the main focus is just that little area there. And you know, when you sort of look at the whole scene here, it is beautiful, but I think if you were to put a wide angle lens on and try and take this shot as one big shot, I think it would just look too messy. So yeah, I've just concentrated on that little area there. Fingers crossed they come out. But I'm down to 2 frames left, so I think I'm going to head back up to the bridge. Although just everywhere I look now there's a shot, which is typical. This morning I was just struggling a little bit, but when you look down there and you see all this dappled light just on the trees and on the ferns, it's just beautiful. I could literally spend it all day, but it is about sort of 10 o'clock now, so the sun is quite high in the sky, but I think that this is quite a nice time of day now. Like I said, sunrise this morning wasn't great. I don't know if it was stuck behind some haze or what it was, but it wasn't quite giving that real sort of vivid light and that real bright light into the forest. It was sort of like a muted light this morning, which I didn't want. I was looking for that powerful light, just bringing rays of it through the forest, which is now what we've got, and it's just, in my view, bringing it to life. Yeah, oh, it's beautiful. That's it for this video, folks. All out of film now. 36 exposures taken in this beautiful forest, and the last ones were just taken of the actual toilet block. I quite liked it, the way it's just sat in this woodland and this sort of light going through these trees in the background. So yeah, the last few shots were just taken here. It's been a real nice morning this morning. I just want to take the opportunity to thank everyone for watching. If you like the video, please leave a like, subscription to the channel would be amazing, and I will see you guys in the next one. So from the New Forest, bye for now.